We will now validate the fact Jesus was and is truly unique above all who have ever lived, since only he was entirely sinless, prophetic, and miraculous. When combined, these distinctly superhuman characteristics support the concept Christ was and is the divine Savior, just as he claimed. As the divine Savior, it would then be no surprise he rose alive from the grave by his own power, as he said he would. His resurrection would simply be a fitting end to a supernatural life. So, we will begin to examine evidence for Jesus' sinlessness in this session and build to a crescendo with proof for his miraculous resurrection power. Perhaps the best way to approach the issue of Jesus' sinlessness is to essentially interview his ancient eyewitnesses to determine what they said about him. They were certainly in a much better position to describe his character than we are today. We have no good reason to reject the testimony of these New Testament witnesses, especially since many of them were hostile or at least neutral toward Christ. Included among the non-Christian eyewitness reporters who proclaimed Christ's sinlessness are Judas, Pilate, Pilate's wife, Herod Antipas, thief on the cross, and Roman centurions. Likewise, several modern skeptics have admitted Jesus' moral superiority. Judas said in Matthew 27:3-4, "I have sinned in that I have betrayed the innocent blood." Pilate declared in Matthew 27:24, "I'm innocent of the blood of this just person." He also said in Luke 23:14-15, "I, having examined him before you, have found no fault in this man. No, nor yet has Herod. Lo, nothing worthy of death has been done by him." Further, he remarked in Luke 23:22, "What evil has he done? I have found no cause of death in him. I will therefore chastise him and let him go." Finally, he clearly said in John 18:38, "I find in him no fault at all." We also know from Matthew 27:19, when Pilate was set down on the judgment seat, his wife sent unto him, saying, "Have nothing to do with that just man." The thief on the cross observed in Luke 23:41, "This man has done nothing amiss." The Roman centurions testified in Matthew 27:54, "Truly, this was the Son of God." And in Luke 23:47 they said, "Certainly, this was a righteous man." We have no good reason to doubt the firm convictions of these secular eyewitnesses regarding Jesus' sinless character, especially since there is not a shred of first-century historical documentation anywhere opposing these statements. As Bernard Ram said, "It is true that historical record bears witness to the conviction Jesus Christ is the greatest man that ever lived." In addition to statements from non-Christians, those who spent 3 years living in close communion with Christ also confirmed he was sinless. Jesus' disciples, above all, were in a prime position to examine his character, for they were able to directly experience his words and actions at morning, noon, and evening during both good and stressful times. If Christ was just a normal sinful man, then his disciples and skeptical family members such as James and Jude would have seen it and not declared his divine innocence to the world or willingly sacrificed their lives serving him. So their testimony regarding Jesus' character is very important and highly revealing. Peter said in 1 Peter 1:19, "Christ was a lamb without blemish and spot," and also verified in 1 Peter 2:22, "Jesus did no sin, neither was guile found in his mouth." John called Jesus the righteous one in 1 John 2:1, and through 1 John 3:5 confirmed, "In him is no sin." Paul, Jesus' former persecutor, observed in 2 Corinthians 5:21, "He was made to be sin for us, who knew no sin, that we might be made the righteousness of God in him." Paul also declared in Hebrews 4:15, "Jesus was in all points tempted as we are, yet without sin." Christ validated all these statements by personally declaring his own moral perfection. He even challenged his ancient opponents to demonstrate he was a sinner. No one else in human history has made and then backed up such a bold claim. The Jewish religious leaders tried on several occasions to expose Jesus' supposed imperfections, but were unable to do so.